Really appreciate you. Oh, what an honor to be here today. So, with your permission, I'm going to be a little bit edgy today. And some of you have been so kind on your emails and Facebook posts and saying, John, you are the chamber. Just because I am everywhere all the time doing all sorts of cool things on your behalf doesn't mean I'm the chamber. In fact, I'm going to prove it to you today. You're going to help write my farewell speech. And so what I'm hoping to do, and this is a very difficult speech to do, what I'm hoping to do is have you ask a question about one of these hats. And somehow, I'm going to tie it together back to the history, tradition, culture of the chamber and what makes this place so darn special. It's you that make this place special. It is so extraordinary when cool people come together for a common cause and say, hey, I'm interested in, and a lot of time it fails, by the way. If you're a newcomer to our chamber, sometimes your ideas fail. And this chamber celebrates that. Because how do you know it's going to fail unless you try? Do not worry about failing in this chamber. You can't fail. And I hope somehow these hats are going to tell some stories. This is my favorite military hat. There's 3 more in here. We'll dig them out here in just a little bit. But I was never authorized to wear this hat in the military. And I wore it all the time. So Brian and I had the chance to represent the Colorado Army National Guard overseas in Eastern Europe, telling the Eastern Bloc country, former Soviet Union, part of the Yugoslavia, how we do homeland security in America. Who's in charge in a disaster? So think the hailstorm that happened a few years ago, the tornado that happened years ago, the floods that just happened, Arapahoe High School, etc. We taught them the local system of government. That it's the local fire, the first responder, it's the fire chief or perhaps a sheriff or a fire department guy that's in charge. But do you know that 85% of America is not owned by government? It's owned by private property. It's owned by businesses. It's owned by your home. In this place, we had the chance to change in a whole culture. And if you look at what's going on over there right now, we hope we have planted some seeds in a business way and a local government way on how to really, what makes America unique. My parents have traveled the world. My dad retired a couple of years older than I am, which is a bad mistake, you all. And I know a couple of you want to be retired. Please don't retire. But unless you have some action, unless you have some goal, unless you have some desire to change your children's life or your neighborhood's life or your business, your employee's life, unless you're doing something cool, well, really, travel's great. You travel unlimited. Thank you. Yes. But you should work and then travel. Work and then travel. My parents brought me all these hats from all over the world. Most of them are authentic and original. The only point of this hat is it's one of our core 4 brand values. This hat is only to say, please, all in your business, when you come here to the chamber, I know you've got pain. Believe me, I know you've got pain. What a great job I had. You tell me your stories, personal and professional, and some big account you just lost, and your business partner's just divorcing you. I know the pain you have. But when you come in a good environment around good quality people, please just have fun. It rubs off on folks. They'll want to hang out with you. They'll tell you stories, and then together you can march on some cooler path. There's a couple more of these, so I'll skip them when we get to them. The laundry list of cool things that this chamber has done since 1921. Oh my gosh, it's huge, you all. But who cares about standing on the shoulders of giants? Do something cool and huge yourself. Oh my God, make a difference. This single-handedly was the most important thing this chamber has ever done. If you think about it, to form the largest incorporation in the history of the United States, from 50% chamber volunteers and 50% neighborhood activists. And it took us to go all the way to the Colorado Supreme Court, where we won. It was the first law that Governor Owen signed into law when he got elected as governor. It was brutal. They hired private investigators on the 5 founders. I'm one, Brian's another. On the 5, to dig up dirt on our background and stuff. A private investigator digging through our trash and stuff. They wanted to find the dirt on us so they could discredit us so we couldn't keep plunging ahead. This chamber has courage. This chamber is fun. It's going to do the right thing to benefit our community. We're a community-based organization, guys and gals. We're not just hey, let's meet and greet and do something special. We take big vision ideas and serve it all the way out to fruition. I love this chamber. I just think it's cool when people are different. So what this stands for is diversity. We all don't have to be the same person. In fact, I don't want to be the same person. I'm kind of boring if you think about it. I've got some English ancestry stuff here, but I'm telling you, they don't even get to wear dresses in England. I mean, at least the Scots get to wear dresses and a big sword. English people are kind of boring and the food's kind of bland, except for the Chinese is pretty good these days. Are you following me? We should respect diversity. And I don't mean to be flippant. This is mostly have fun. But we also have to realize that all these hats stand for different cultures and different backgrounds and different ideas, and what can we learn from each of them to make our own lives prosper. We're Westerners. So the purpose of this hat and this chamber and these hats is to stand on your own 2 feet and go out in the middle of Main Street and draw your guns. Seriously, draw your guns. If you got your product or service, don't be hiding around the corner. I know our country was founded on guerrilla warfare. I have an appreciation for that. I really do. But we're Westerners. And if you got a fight or a problem with somebody, go talk to them. Hey, you say, oh, I'm so sorry your meal wasn't good. Jimmy, your meal's never been bad. Ivy of the Glen. No, but you talk to them. You know, say, Brad, I'm sorry. You know, you're not satisfied with my service or product. Hey, there's a conflict among the office. Peter, is that okay? Can I apologize? We're Westerners. Put on a nice hat if necessary. A nice Western, nice hat. And pretend you're a Westerner if you're not a Westerner. We're straight shooters, okay? And that's the purpose of this hat. And there's another couple if I can remember. This chamber thinks K through 12 education all the way through post-grad is one of the most important things we can do. If we're not worried about our future generation and the generation that follows them, why are we doing that? Why are we doing anything? I mean, we do it in our own lives, right? Why do you work so hard? Well, I know you need shelter and all that, and I know you want some food in your belly, and you want to go traveling. But really, don't you want to leave something better for the next generation, your own family? And you help out your neighborhood kid, and you help some stranger in some charity. Well, as a whole ecosystem, our chamber should care about the highest, best K through 12 public education system in America, period. And we've got Littleton Public Schools, Cherry Creek Schools, and Douglas County Schools as clients of ours. We should represent them well, but more important than just representing them well, we should give those kids the best opportunity to be competitive against any other kid worldwide. Please, please, please keep that long-term tradition going that we should care about our kids. My dad dropped out of college at DU to go fight in the Korean War, and he never went back to college. He's a really smart guy, a lot smarter than I am, but he is not a formal education person. And then in retirement, thank God, he decided to build a house up near Fairplay. Can you imagine building a house without ever building a house by scratch with your own hands? He built a house. Well, and I helped a little bit, so because I got the hat to prove it. I mean, it does, yeah, thank you, agree. You know my older brother, don't you? Yeah, he built the whole thing. He did his own architectural drawings. He laid the, whatever that, not, yeah, but by brick. What is that called? Big, yeah. And the house, and I had to come up on weekends and stuff and live in a tent in the winter. And he loved it because he smoked his pipe and thought about how the house was wrong. Folks, please build something here. This is the best hard hat ever made. Folks, it's your Arapahoe County Sheriff's Detention Facility hat when we built that. If our community doesn't feel safe, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. We'll move our family out. We'll move our jobs out. We won't commute in that way. We will do anything conceivably possible. Doesn't matter how rich or poor you are. If you will have a way to get out of an unsafe community, you will do so. This is going to be controversial, but it is from Jordan. That's another Partnership for Peace country that the National Guard works with. But I'm telling you to send our young men and women overseas to make sure that we can drive and make sure we can fly and make sure we can move our material, not only to each other. We really need a U.S. national energy policy. And I'm telling you, for some reason as a country, our citizens, we're not interested in that. We don't care. We've done such noble work in renewable energy. Oh my gosh, such noble work. Jeff, thank you, one of our more recent leaders. But Jerry Healy, who's I think out of town today, Jerry started the Renewable Energy Task Force, and we went out to California. It was LG Chavez, a Bird Automotive Network at the time, who said we need to get energy independent in Colorado and the United States. I know it's politically incorrect to tie it to the Middle East, so forgive me, viewers. But I'm telling you, we have to consume all of our energy as much as we can here locally. I'm telling you, it leads to national independence. It leads to freedom. It leads to the ability to control our own destiny. If we're just dependent on foreign despots and dictators and people that don't admire our freedom that we have in America, we're making a huge mistake. And so, yes, I won't do it with this hat on. I am advocating for massive investment in hydraulic fracking and horizontal drilling. 65,000 jobs will go poof after November if citizens go, hey, I'm a little concerned about water and a little concerned about air and a little concerned about noise and truck traffic. And by the way, we should be concerned about all that. We're Coloradans. We have a great Colorado environmental ethic. But to say we're going to ban an entire industry when 85% of all wells in Colorado have already been fracked, and they've been fracked for 40 years, it's just the new technology of horizontal drilling that makes it so prolific. I don't mean to go in because I only have 15 more minutes, but I'm happy to talk to you about renewable and traditional energy sources for as much as you'd like to, because we have to change the culture in Colorado where we trust each other, we believe each other, and we realize that we have to have air, water, energy. Then we can get to some other stuff like food. Next. And I think this hat is a reminder that most of the world is still at poverty level eating requirements. I mean, there's billions of people that eat rice as their main source of food intake. And you can live off that, but you can't live really well. It's hard to be productive. It's hard to think without a really well-balanced diet. And we are so fortunate in South Metro Denver and Colorado and the United States and the industrialized world. But we should realize that not everybody thinks like the way we think. They don't have the basic Maslow's food stuff. And so realize no matter what hat you put on during your day and work day, that the person you're talking to may have a totally different background and culture and experience level. And we need to listen better and we need to think through it. So it also stands for diversity. Our Cultural Business Alliance chair is here. I just think if we look at people at face value and just stereotype them without thinking through all the different complexities of where they've been and where they're from and where their ancestors are from and what their religion is and what their goals and dreams are, we're making a huge mistake. But please, please, please respect each other in this chamber. In all ways, politically, religiously, economically, small business, big business. This chamber has a really cool tradition of standing on your own 2 feet and shaking hands and saying what you do. Please be adventurous. I was not prophetic when I had Missy Franklin stand here. She was 14 years old and I bet none of you knew. Did anyone know Missy Franklin when she was the speaker of the President's Leadership Forum? You knew her before because she hadn't won any awards yet. I predict unless she gets injured or something horrible happens, she will probably be the most decorated athlete in the history of the human race. And she was one of our speakers at the President's Leadership Forum as a 14-year-old girl. I'm telling you, South Metro Denver is going to be more competitive than other states and more competitive than other nation states because we know, trust, like, admire, connect each other, and we're all moving ahead in society. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my dear honor to serve you for a decade.